Hi guys, it's Blackie, and today for the Percussion Revolver series we're going to talk about my 1851 Colt reissue. Now this is a 1851 Navy square back trigger guard that is a signature series, Colt signature series in 36 caliber. I purchased this last fall and I mentioned it, and I've done one shooting video already where I showed you me firing the very first shots. Well, there's a simple rule of thumb. If you're involved with any kind of sport or hobby where you collect, sooner or later you're going to get a lemon. That's what's happened. Well, that may be harsh, but let me explain. When I got this gun, it didn't have any box with it or anything, but it had never been fired, and I could tell that simply by looking down the chambers at the inside where the base of the nipple was, and there's absolutely no corrosion around it anywhere. So that told me right there this gun had never been fired. And I purchased it, I brought it out, and you saw me shoot the very first shots. And I put about 30 rounds through it that day. And I was having cap jams like crazy. The opening in those stock nipples was so big, it was not merely busting the cap, it was fragmenting them. They were just giblets going everywhere. This was bad. And so I went ahead and ordered. I tried doing the little tricks I've mentioned that you can go back and look in my Percussion Revolver series, and I talk about how to fix cap jams. I did every trick I knew how to do, and it was still just detonating them. That hole was way too big and the mainspring was way too weak to hold it. So I ordered a set of these Amco nipples to go onto it, and I put those in there, and that has helped a lot. It's not, maybe I get a cap jam now every 20 rounds versus 20 or to 50 rounds versus every round. And I'm still dialing this in. I may do a couple of tricks to this to see if I can get it to zero, or extremely rare. Okay? But after I'd shot 30 rounds through this pistol in that first video, I went to take it apart, and I couldn't. You heard me right, I couldn't. This wedge would not come out, no matter how I tried. So I had to stop shooting for the day, and I went home and got on my workbench, and I brought out my brass punches, and I tried tapping that wedge out, and that wedge did not want to come out. Finally, after several days of fussing, I got that wedge out, and that wedge was not only bent, looking at it like that, it was also wavy in the middle of the wedge. It was like you had squeezed it from two different angles. Now, I'd been shooting a mile load in this. I know what you're saying, thinking, Blackie's shooting them Magnum killers. No, it was a standard load of the day, which was 18 grains. That's a mile load. 18 grades a wad and a 375. I really need a 380 for this one. The 375 just barely cuts a ring. And you can easily see it was finger pressure. So it was no heavy pressured loads there. And yet, that wedge just disintegrated. When I got it out, I put it up on an anvil and took my ball peen and just lightly tapped it, and it went flat, just like that. I know it was not, but it was like mild aluminum. That's how simple it bent. Obviously, that one just didn't get heat treated at the factory. Okay, things coming down the assembly line. Okay, somebody grabbed one that hadn't gone to heat treat yet. Okay, I can live with that. So I replaced the nipples. I did a trick to try to stiffen up the mainspring a little bit. It has helped somewhat. Accuracy was good, but it was just one of those things every time you turn around, something else just didn't seem to want to work. I fired another 25 rounds. Now we're up to a total of 55 rounds out of it at that time. And the barrel didn't, the cylinder didn't want to come off of the arbor. Didn't want to come off of the cylinder base pin. Had to twist and drag it off. The metal of it had peened out and was warping. So I had to file it to make clearance. So I bought the Colt, which I know is just a U-birdie, but I'm thinking that I got the one that was on Friday and somebody was in a hurry to get out of there. Having said that, I have got it where it shoots accurately now. I haven't had any major problems now. And with the shooting that I'll be doing today, this next cylinder should be 100 rounds through the gun. Accuracy is very good. the angle up here on the loading lever, it wants to drop like a walker does. So I have to recut that a little bit more. I'm going to have to ping that out and put me a stronger spring in there because the spring's a little weak and it's dropping. Normally when you fire your first shot, it drops. And so I've got to address that a little bit. As far as the rest of it, it seems to be working well so far. Now, Colt created this gun as an offshoot of the 49 pocket model, etc. This was to be the belt gun of the day. And this was a very successful gun all the way up through the Civil War and even after. They didn't quit making this model, except it had a round trigger guard. There were some improvements to it up until 1873. Way after cartridge guns had came on the scene. But these guns were still so well known. Now, of course, you know Wild Bill Hickok used a pair of navies like this because he considered them very rugged and reliable guns. So it's nothing to do with the design, okay? It's just over time you're going to find something that just needs a little extra work. And this is true of modern guns as well. I have had Beretta automatic pistols that have come to me to work on because they had all kinds of problems. It happens, okay? So when you get a gun and you've got some minor little problem pop up, work through the problem, okay? Don't just chuck it away because it's not doing this or it's not doing that. Figure out the why and then proceed. Every part of this I can replace. You know, if that cylinder base pin somehow wasn't hardened, I can order one from Dixie and just screw it in. True it up and have a hardened one. It's all Uberti parts. So parts are available. If this was just, I'll order the loading lever from Uberti and put it on. It'll have a good spring and all in it right off the top if I don't want to have to play gunsmithing. It's got parts available. It can be worked. And that's what this gun is going to be done. It's sort of a Frankenstein right now. But she shoots accurately. She does good. And thus far, I'm tentatively, skeptically pleased with it. You know, when you bought that name Colt, you wanted, you know what I mean? But I'm not going to write her off. I'm going to work with her. And you're going to see her in more videos down the line. So, enough talking, enough babbling. How about we take the old girl and we take a couple of shots? So we're going to hop over here and I'm going to do a reloading. I'm going to load her for you and then we're going to shoot them plates. Stay with me. Okay, let's go through the loading procedure. I've already greased the bore like I always do. Bring the the hammer back to half cock. Make sure she's fully free rotating. And I'm going to use my reloads out of my little cartouche pouch. Got my caps in there. Got my wads in there. So I bring out my cartouche. And what this is a Dixie tube. Now this is the wrong size. Let me show you the right size. This is the Dixie tube that I've had for years. Okay. This is the one I just ordered from Dixie that they said was 36. You can see a big difference right there. This is for 36. That was for 31. It's maximum packed with 18 grains in it. This one's got room for the ball and a wad. So be careful when you get it. Always make sure you're getting the right size. They just accidentally mismarked that 31 bag as a 36. But that's something I'll take up with Dixie. No big deal. I've got a 31 available. These will be perfect for. Now, here's how we're going to do it. Just like we did the 1860 Army. We're going to come up here and we're going to take the tube and I'm going to squeeze it with my thumb and you see the ball rises up. I'm going to catch the ball. Now if the ball and the wad were in there, I would take them out separately, but I then transfer them down here to my lower pinky. That way I can grip it and I've got the tube. Now I come up and I pour it into the chamber, give it a little squeeze. I transfer the tube to my pinky on the other side, and now I tap the cylinder to settle the powder. Now I roll my hand up, pull up that wad, put the wad in place, rotate it under the rammer, and I use the rammer to just start it, you know, just get it flat across. Now I rotate it back, and I'm going to drop the ball in on top of it, rotate it underneath, and ram it home, just like that. Now, let me do that 5 more times, and I'll be right back with you. Okay guys, now with thunder rolling and we're about to get wet, I'm at the 10-yard line at the plates with the Colt second issue 1851 Navy. Let's see how I do on these plates. Don't laugh. Not bad. Not bad at all. So, it shoots well. It shoots accurately. I just had some problems I had to work out. So, it's still an ongoing process. I think I've got her dialed in, but I think I'm going to stick just with the standard round ball, relatively mild loads. I've had no reason to not think that won't work well, but she shoots it well, she's accurate, and that's all I ask. I've got Stormborn in my 61. If I want to shoot them big Richmond bullets, they shoot them very well, and so I'll be a little gentle with her. Thank you for watching, guys. Please leave any questions or comments below, and until next time, I'm Blackie, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.